What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Man. I'm coming back at y'all boys with another reaction video. Now, I just woke up and I got this bright light in my face, so you know what I'm saying? I may be squilling a little bit. And I got a little slur to my speech, cause I got like one of those like those cold sores that be on your tongue, those little, I can't really explain it, but when you eat hot stuff, it's like a bump that'll come on your, what you call it, it'll come and then it'll come away for like a few days. But I got a little slur to my speech. But no, we got something different. We don't got a basketball video, we got a combat sport video. Jon Jones, the most controversial MMA fighter of all time. I probably need some water. Now look, Jon Jones and GSP debate is like Michael Jordan versus Bron, right? It's never ending. And some people just think it's Jon Jones. Some people think it's GSP. If you want a natural GOAT, then you choose GSP. If you want see, this this the thing. Jon Jones beats GSP in a lot of categories, right? But he took steroids, so he basically cheated. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I like Jon Jones more. Even though he cheated, he's still he did, just like DC said, he didn't even have to cheat. He was so talented, he didn't even have to cheat. I'm not gonna do no more talking. Let's get to this reaction video. Man, let's go. Let's do it, man.
I'm back here.
Jon Bones Jones is one of the most exciting fighters in UFC history. A rare talent gifted with size, speed, and supernatural reach that
he got it all,
was
man.
too easy for him. A legend among champions, Jones became the youngest ever.
Now look, whenever I need to comment on something, I'm gonna pause the video. Other than that, I'm gonna let it ride out. But so far, just like he said, Jon Jones became the youngest champion in the UFC, and I think he still holds that. I think.
Gifted with size, speed, and supernatural reach that made winning almost too easy for him. A legend among champions, Jones became the youngest ever UFC champion in history at 23.
23.
Since then, there hasn't been one single fighter younger than 23 that could even be considered a title challenger. Since becoming champion, he also set the record for longest win streak in the light heavyweight division and most title fight wins in UFC history. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Jon Bones Jones is one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time.
Who do you think is the greatest UFC fighter of all time?
Jon Jones.
So many world champions under my belt that I've defeated.
No one is a real promising threat to Jon Jones.
Which is part of the reason why he turned to drugs and alcohol. If anyone was going to beat the man known as Bones, it was going to be himself.
I had this crazy thing that I would do
I
would
don't.
party 1 week before every fight. And I did
Why?
it throughout my whole career.
Why?
Eventually, his hard-living ways caught up with him as he was involved in a hit-and-run accident that nearly sent him to jail.
I hate you.
And forced the UFC to strip him of his light heavyweight crown.
Jon Jones has done a lot of things to himself. He's saying, in one of his tweets, he was saying that I tarnished you? You've done a very good job of tarnishing you.
But Jon Jones is like a real life Homelander, bro. I swear, Jon Jones is like a real life Homelander, bro. He'll do something and he'll think it's somebody else's fault. Well, let me try to break this down. He'll do something and he'll own up to it, right? He'll own up to it, and then he'll talk about this and talk about that, but then he'll do some dumb junk again after admitting to being wrong and after owning up to it, right? And then he'll just play it off and just do something else and just he a real life character, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
But let's start at the beginning. Jonathan Dwight Jones was born in Rochester, in the state of New York, on the 19th of July, 1987. His father was a pastor and wanted him to follow in his footsteps. But John had other ambitions. After getting into wrestling in high school, he became a state champion. Along with this, he also won the National Judo Championship while attending college. He knew that he was destined to become one of the greatest fighters of all time, and he was right. To push him even further down that path, as Jones would later tell it, when he found out that his girlfriend at the time was pregnant, he figured he could fight professionally to make some money. So instead of completing his university degree, he joined the Jackson Wink MMA Academy and built up his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and striking to complement his wrestling. In 2008, Jones took the first steps on his journey to greatness by turning pro and competing in local promotions. He was just a 20-year-old kid with a dream, but his fighting IQ was off the charts.
Jones with a suplex!
In his professional debut at Untamed 20, he stunned the world with a series of powerful punches, earning a dominant TKO victory over the since-retired Brad Bernard. Just 7 days later, he scored another knockout against Carlos Eduardo. And 6 days after that, he submitted Anthony Pino with a guillotine choke.
I'll tell you what, Jon Jones is very, very, very impressive.
Jones quickly became known for his incredible 84.5-inch reach and his ability to outstrike opponents with ease.
He's very, very talented, man. Jon Jones, a good up-and-comer, a guy that's willing to fight.
Just 4 months after his professional debut, the UFC reached out to Jones to sign him, thanks to his impressive undefeated record of 6 wins at such a young age. And thus, a legend was born.
Here you go.
For his
I remember when I first watched, I remember when I was when I just became a UFC fan. And the first thing that I did, I watched all of Jon Jones highlights. I went to his first fight until the end, bro. I don't know why, but it was just something about Jon Jones, bro. I kept hearing his name, and I just thought to myself, I'm gonna start off watching him. And then I started, after I got done watching him, I watched Cain Velasquez, I think that's his last name. Then I watched Charles Oliveira. Then I watched Dustin Poirier. That's basically how I got into it. But this Jon Jones had no experience.
He accepted a fight on a 2 weeks' notice and went toe-to-toe with Andre Guzmão. While he didn't quite get the finish, Jones did what he does best and put on a clinic before securing a unanimous decision victory.
He threw no oblique kicks. Hey, the Jon Jones now would have thrown 100 oblique kicks, right? He would have did it. That's how you can tell he ain't had no experience for it like that. He ain't had the Jon Jones, bro. He would have threw 100 oblique kicks, bro.
Any fighter knows just getting into the UFC is a major accomplishment, but to do it so triumphantly had to feel great for the young Jones. He showcased an unorthodox but effective striking attack that overwhelmed his opponent and displayed all the tools that eventually turned him into a champion. Jones's next challenges, Stephan Bonnar and Jake O'Brien, were quickly dispatched as he added 2 more dominant victories to his record. The first of these 2 fights, in particular, is worth mentioning, as it was a real step up in competition. Bonnar was a finalist on the original Ultimate Fighter and had shared the cage with some of the best the sport had to offer. Many believed that Jones had too little experience to win this match. Instead, Bonnar probably still has nightmares of that night.
Bonnar trying to drag Jones to the ground, but unsuccessful.
Jones dominated the fight, showing off a variety of suplexes, kicks, and elbows that his opponent just had no answer for.
After I'd been fighting him that first round, sitting on my stool, I'm like, this guy is fucking good, man. He's gifted. You know, and he was so hard to get close enough to hit. So I'm like kind of falling in with my punches, then you'd end up in his clinch, and then you're toast, you know, you're getting taken down.
In just a few short months, he had taken the UFC by storm with his incredible size, speed, and reach. By early December 2009, the hype around Jones was so high that he was given a prominent spot on a cable TV UFC fight card.
This right
He
here,
would get a chance to see his incredible skills on full display.
I'm talking about straight bloodbath, bro. I'm talking about straight. I ain't gonna spoil it for y'all who, but this fight right here, boy. I ain't gonna say what happened, but I'm talking about straight blood.
Fight card, where the world would get a chance to see his incredible skills on full display. Against Matt Hamill.
And Jon Jones was absolutely dominant in the fight. And at one point, he was on top of Hamill, and he was looking to finish the fight by delivering strikes.
Matt Hamill's in deep, deep trouble.
Jones continued punching, pausing occasionally to look
Like,
up
just
the referee.
end the fight, bro. Like,
He seemed to have
you
no
supposed to
interest
be
in
in the
stopping
fight, bro.
despite the overwhelming offense of Jones and the complete lack of response from Hamill.
He looking at him like, in the fight.
So Jones went looking for something new with which to end the fight. That's when he started using 12-6 elbows, a prohibited striking technique.
12-6 elbow is just like if you're looking at a clock, guys, and your fist points towards the 12, and you bring your elbow down towards the 6. So straight up and down elbow.
This is what caused the referee to finally intervene and stop the fight.
The referee for that...
Man, you supposed to be in the fight,
Steve
bro.
Mazzagatti stepped in, broke the action, checked on Hamill, didn't think he could continue, can't continue because of illegal strike. Pretty obvious where this goes. You disqualify Jon Jones.
Due to intentional elbows, there's been a disqualification of Johnny Bones Jones. Therefore, the winner is Matt Hamill.
This put a blemish on his undefeated status.
If there was an illegal strike and the referee called it illegal and decided the other athlete can't go on, there was only one remedy for that situation, which is a disqualification, which was called.
It would be later discovered that earlier in the fight, Matt had also dislocated his shoulder, and many believe the referee should have stopped the match sooner. Others say that it should have been ruled as no contest, and some have through the years insisted that the decision should be overturned.
Does anybody here disagree with me that Mazzagatti is a fucking toolbox?
Ultimately, the referee took the brunt of the criticism. Hamill himself would later write on his personal website that he believed Jones did nothing wrong, and that he didn't consider himself to be the winner. Setting the controversy aside, the most important thing that we should take away from that fight is that nobody had ever dominated Matt like that before. And as of this video, this is still the only loss on Jones' record. Ultimately, however, it didn't turn out to be an overpowering blemish on his reputation, if only because Jones' life outside the cage has provided it with such stiff competition.
Here we go.
But we'll talk more about his controversies in just a second.
Alright, we ain't get into
Before
this yet, I
we do,
bet.
please subscribe to the channel. I'm a huge MMA fanatic, and I make documentaries so you
on,
won't miss
man.
any of...
For Jon Jones to beat Brandon Vera would be huge for his career, and for Brandon Vera to push back Jon Jones and send him back down would be gigantic for him as well.
In 2010, Jones silenced his doubters by delivering devastating defeats to Brandon Vera and Vladimir Matyshenko.
Oh man, the point of the elbow right in the eye socket.
After their match, Vera was diagnosed with multiple fractures to the face, requiring him to stay away from the Octagon for months.
Johnny Bones Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Jones' rise to glory gained significant momentum in 2011 when he defeated Ryan Bader with a guillotine choke.
You know, he's so well-rounded too for such a young guy who's only been competing and training for so.
Bro, Jon Jones, bro. He's one of a kind, bro. Like, when people look at his legs, they be like, oh, it's too skinny. It's too... But the thing about that is, like, bro, that's where all his kicks come from, bro. Like, his legs being long and skinny and little, when he kick, he got, like, his... Like, bro, it's not like he's a 6'4" guy that's unflexible. He's flexible, bro. I know y'all seen the high kicks that, bro. we gonna continue watching, and you gonna see the amount of, you gonna see how high he kicks, bro. And then you gonna be like, oh, that's why his legs, like, I'm trying to tell you, but this nigga was made in a lab, bro. This nigga was made in a lab, bro.
3 years, I mean, it's really...
And immediately afterward, he was informed that in just over a month, he would face Mauricio Rua for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship title.
My heart is racing, but it's God, man. God is just so good. I'm emotional, but it's just excitement and just me being so grateful and realizing the power that God has. When He wants to do something great for you, He will.
Congrats, another fight. Jones was still a 23-year-old kid and less than 3 years removed from his pro debut when he encountered the 29-year-old Rua.
What about Jon Jones excites you?
Yeah, actually, everything that has been said, everything that people are saying, you know, the whole hype, really serves as motivation.
Championship fight.
All been waiting for. It's time. 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC.
By now, UFC fans were pretty accustomed to seeing Jones dominate light heavyweights. However, they were still curious to see how he would fare against the best fighter in the division.
Has to look out for the elbows. There it is. Jones 12-1.
Some people call Jon Jones a weight bully because Jon Jones was 6'4" in the light heavyweight. I feel like regardless if he wasn't heavyweight and light heavyweight, he would have killed regardless, bro. He would have dominated regardless, bro. He would have, like, he did everything at ease, bro. Like, he would have killed regardless, bro.
One in his MMA career.
It only took a few minutes to get a definitive answer.
Look at his kicks.
He was great. Absolutely, unarguably great. Jones attacked from the outset with knees, kicks, and all forms of takedown attempts, and then battered Rua on the mat with elbows.
Jones throwing that side kick to the thigh. Nice knee by Jones.
He drew blood with additional elbows in the second round.
Bro, he's so confident right now too, Mike. He's really having his way with Shogun. And because of that, he's not getting tired.
And wrapped things up in the third, pressing the young-on-old violence until the champion eventually dropped to the mat and was humanely rescued by the referee. Rogan, to name just one, was so impressed that he declared Jones to be the greatest talent ever seen in the UFC.
And his skills.
He's phenomenal.
Incredible.
The best ever.
Jon Jones, the new
Bro tapped to a punch.
And just
Bro
like
didn't
that,
even get
he
submitted.
became the youngest champion in UFC history.
Jon Jones got through a tough test tonight and passed with flying colors. The real challenge starts now.
In addition to this Octagon triumph, Jones had showcased his heroic side on the morning of the fight. While out for a run with his coaches in Paterson, New Jersey, he foiled a robbery by chasing down the suspect. This act of bravery further solidified his stellar reputation.
Then I hear the story about how he runs out and stops this guy that just robbed these people, waits for the police to come. I'm like, man, that's a pretty big day for a guy. Then he comes in and dominates.
That shit was dangerous, bro. You don't put chase no robber, bro. That shit was stupid.
However, they say that a champion
this is
isn't
my
truly a
favorite fight right
champion
here.
until he makes his first title defense. And ever.
Be on the way home tonight.
This is my favorite fight right here.
However, they say that a champion isn't truly a champion until he makes his first title defense. And so, in September 2011, Bones faced off against Quinton Rampage Jackson, who declared that he would knock Jones out and end his hype.
I'm going to destroy Jon Jones on the 24th.
Instead, Jones dominated the fight and finished Jackson in the fourth
Choked
round
him out,
with a
man.
rear-naked choke submission.
What a spectacular, flawless performance.
In his first successful title defense, Jones defeated a Rampage who was in the best condition, physically and mentally, that he had been in for a long time. Still, Rampage never even came close to landing a meaningful strike.
I feel like Jones is a smart fighter, and it was really hard for me to hit him. He wouldn't let me hit him.
It should be noted that Rampage also complained about Jones being a dirty fighter.
He's like the dirtiest fighter.
Which is true. He is the dirtiest fighter.
His fingers in my eye.
Still, this impressive victory solidified Jones' place as the best fighter in the division, and he would wrap up 2011 by defeating Lyoto Machida.
Oh my God.
Jones is one of the most dynamic fighters in the game, continually evolving with time and altering his game to adapt to his opponent's styles. He's known for his diverse kicking arsenal, which includes roundhouse kicks, front kicks to the head and body,
Here you go,
and
look.
a deceivingly damaging oblique kick to the knee. House kicks.
Look at the kicks now.
He's known for his diverse kicking arsenal, which includes roundhouse kicks, front kicks to the head and body, and the deceivingly damaging oblique kick to the knee. He's a brilliant fighter from the clinch as well, and his spinning elbow often catches his opponents off guard.
I go here. Boom.
However, what truly sets him apart is his ground and pound technique. He knows how to land heavy blows with punches and elbow strikes, even from short distances from the top mount. This makes him one of the most dangerous fighters on the ground. In April 2012, Jones put on another dominant performance against a former UFC champion when he defeated Rashad Evans.
It's a good time for me to submit my legacy, and it's a perfect opportunity and perfect chance for me to do that.
Though Evans was the first man to go a full 5 rounds with Jones, he was simply outclassed by the champ. In short, Jones beat him in every aspect of the fight. Evans is an extraordinary quick, exceptionally strong, abnormally well-conditioned light heavyweight. He also had a psychological advantage over Jones that no other fighter could possibly have. He had been his training partner in the past.
Sprint to the finish, just threw Rashad. Oh, he tagged him.
Regardless, he never had a chance. Jones used his
Bro just threw him like he was a baby, bro. What the fuck? Let me see that again.
He had been his training partner in the past.
Sprint to the finish, just threw Rashad. Oh, he tagged him.
Regardless, he never had a chance. Jones used his trump card, his insane inch reach, to stay out of harm's way while figuring out novel methods of pulping his opponent's face. Toss in his customary arsenal of leg kicks, and you get the picture. Jones was on top of the world. Fresh off his huge win against Evans, he became the first MMA fighter to be sponsored by Nike.
Really? I never knew that.
He got himself into a bit of trouble when he crashed his Bentley into a pole in Binghamton, New York, one early morning in May of 2012.
Controversy, here we go.
He was arrested on the scene and was very fortunate that he did not get himself or anybody else seriously injured. But for the first time, his public image took a hit.
Bro, if he would have killed that lady, bro, it would have been over with, bro. I still don't know how bro recovered from that shit. Hitting that pregnant woman, I still don't know how the fuck he recovered from that.
In May of 2012, he was arrested on the scene and was very fortunate that he did not get himself or anybody else seriously injured. But for the first time, his public image took a hit. It was a shock to most people that he would put himself in this kind of position. Sadly, it turned out to be a sign of things to come. To further showcase how immature he really was, he then incurred the wrath of Dana White after refusing to fight at UFC 151.
This is probably one of my all-time lows as being president of UFC over the last 11 years. For the first time in 11 years, we're going to cancel an event.
This was supposed to be a battle between Jones and Dan Henderson, but when Henderson pulled out of the fight due to an injury, Chael Sonnen was chosen to replace him. However, Jones refused to take the fight. As a result, UFC 151 became the first event canceled by the promotion.
Jones would have killed Dan Henderson.
As a result, UFC 151 became the first event canceled by the promotion. White crucified Jones in the media for not accepting the fight, and for the first time in Jones' life, he started to look cowardly and selfish, as fighters and fans alike gave him a ton of grief for not taking the fight.
Hey, this fight was good too.
Scheduled for the UFC's next pay-per-view event, UFC 152 against Vitor Belfort in September 2012.
Now look, so Belfort, some people don't know why Jon Jones looked at the camera like that. So basically, Belfort threw a kick while Jon Jones was like on the ground, and you weren't supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to throw, like, if I'm not mistaken, you weren't supposed to throw like head kicks when you on the ground. And so basically, that's why he looked at the ref like, what was that, bro?
152 against Vitor Belfort in September 2012.
Submissions. Oh, armbar! He's got it! He has got it right here!
Surprisingly, Belfort actually managed to put Jones in danger. For a good 15 seconds, we saw the champion lose his impenetrable aura of invincibility. He felt pain. He was human. At one point, it almost looked like his arm was about to snap off.
Vitor Belfort looking to finish this fight. Jones trying to power out of it. Might break that arm, Mike. He might break that arm. Wow! You know what? It's a little high now. I think he's out. He's out.
But unlike most of us, who would have tapped within 6 seconds of Belfort's armbar, Jones didn't. He got out of that and went on to dominate the rest of the fight, eventually submitting his opponent in the 4th round.
Nasty elbows.
I honestly was waiting for it to break. I was not going to tap out. But man, I tell you what, I've never felt that before. I got a lot of rest in it to do.
Now, in the second...
What makes it even more impressive is that later it was revealed that Belfort had elevated levels of testosterone on a pre-fight drug test.
John did
not
too.
Enough to defeat Bones.
See, that's the thing, bro. Jon Jones could have won with or without it. Like, bro, even on steroids, he looked the same, bro. He looked exactly the same, bro. Like, he was, bro, Jon was just doing stuff, bro. He was just doing stuff.
Joe, I don't promote fights, I pick fights. I'm better than Jon Jones. I'm better than Sean Combs. I am even better than John Holmes.
John Holmes is a dead junkie, and Sean Combs is like a rapper. Is that the other guy?
Don't bring up old business. The course is current events. FX Ultimate Fighter just before Justified Tuesday night.
Sonnen finally got his date in the cage with Jones in April 2013 and nearly ended up as champion, despite Jones dominating. While mauling Sonnen in the bout, Jones dislocated his big toe. Nonetheless, he got the TKO finish with 27 seconds left in the 1st round. Had Sonnen survived to the horn, perhaps the doctor would not have allowed Jones to continue with the grotesque injury.
He's got a broken foot.
Oh my God.
Obviously, you're in some serious pain, man. I'd love to talk to you about this if you can, though. Can you talk? Yeah, I'm all right, man.
It wasn't necessarily a fight that we needed, but if anything else, it was a stark reminder that Jones is one of the toughest fighters the sport has ever seen. He needed only 9 toes to finish his opponent. An epic war with Alexander Gustafsson followed. Gustafsson did not have the name recognition that any of Jones' previous opponents did, but on that night he looked to be the biggest threat of all.
Greatest UFC fight of all time.
He bloodied and with Alexander Gustafsson followed. Gustafsson did not have the name recognition that any of Jones' previous opponents
Superman
did,
punch.
but on that night he looked to be the biggest threat of all. He bloodied and battered the champion and tested him in a way no one had ever seen before.
It was tough. It was tough, but it's a good time for me.
He caused a massive gash under Jones' eye and even became the first man to take him down.
The fight it's a highlight in my career for sure, in my life for sure.
What a fight! Unbelievable! What a fight!
A lot of people thought he deserved the win. Jones himself later admitted that he was so hurt at the end of the match that he couldn't even wipe his own butt, and one of his coaches had to do it for him. But to his credit, he pushed back against his opponent, winning the final 2 rounds and ultimately the fight with a unanimous decision. This would set a new record for most consecutive light heavyweight title defenses. In April 2014, it would be Glover Teixeira's turn to attempt the impossible.
He's a great fighter. He's got all the tools. He's a great champion. I'm going to take that belt away from him tomorrow.
Now look. Before this fight, everybody thought that Glover would get Jon, bro. Everybody, this was the fight, bro. Right? This was the fight. I'm not gonna spoil it for nobody who ain't seen it. But bro, this fight right here, it displayed Jon Jones' stand-up ground, right? Because usually his stand-up ground consists of kicking, elbows, right? This match, in my opinion, really displayed his creativity. People think the shotgun rule one displayed it. No. This one right here, it really displayed his clinch. You know what I'm saying? His elbows, his uppercut. This was a good fight right here. In the eye pokes.
He may have stuffed a majority of Jones' takedown attempts, but he also managed to get hit more than twice as much as he hit Jones. Ultimately, it wasn't a good night to be standing across the cage from Bones, who left the Octagon with yet another win. Shortly after, Jones would appear with Daniel Cormier at a Las Vegas news conference to announce their title fight for the following year, and the two would end up brawling on the hotel lobby floor.
Come here. Come here, DC.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission unanimously voted to discipline both fighters.
Yeah, I think I got sued.
Jones received a $50,000 fine and 40 hours of community service. Cormier was hit with a $9,000 penalty and ordered to complete 20 hours of community.
I said sued. I mean fine. My fault, y'all.
Jones received a $50,000 fine and 40 hours of community service. Cormier was hit with a $9,000 penalty and ordered to complete 20 hours of community service. As a result of all the negative publicity Jones was attracting, Nike would cancel their sponsorship.
What? I'm not afraid of Jon Jones in any way, shape,
or
form. So he's not gonna come in there and try and bully me. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, I pushed his ass. Get out of my face.
Around this time, Jones would also be accused of writing homophobic slurs to some fan on Instagram. He would justify himself by saying that his phone was stolen and his account hacked. However, his reputation was hurting, and the media kept painting him as a bad representation of the sport.
When I come out with things, people want to talk about it, and some, half the audience are positive and half are negative. I'm just grateful to have 100% of the audience.
Right, they're not indifferent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when they're indifferent, they don't give a crap. Then
it's a problem.
Then it's a real problem. Yeah, that's when your pay-per-view numbers are terrible, and your T-shirts aren't selling, and so.
Jones and Cormier would finally fight in January 2015.
So Jones he don't hit hard. He doesn't punch hard, but he kicks really hard. So he kicks really, really hard.
A lot of people thought Cormier had it in him to dethrone the champion. Needless to say, they were wrong. Jones gave fans the dogfight they wanted to see.
Goes the distance.
Ultimately earning a unanimous decision.
I know I lost.
Another W, man.
Jon won. That's pretty much all it boils down to. It doesn't matter if it's closer or if it's not. He won the fight.
However, just one day after being featured on Forbes mag.
Bro, what is this shirt Jon got on, bro? Jon be doing and wearing the most zestiest shit ever, bro.
Magazine's 30 Under 30 list of the brightest young stars in sports. Jones' public image took another hit when the Nevada State Athletic Commission revealed he had tested positive for cocaine prior to the Cormier fight.
Bro.
What was even more alarming was his stint in rehab afterwards. He stayed in the rehabilitation facility for just one day. Obviously, he did not care to get help.
I believe Mr. Jones is currently the most gifted, wasted talent on the face of the earth. I hope you get yourself together and finish what you should be doing and becoming the best in the world. Stay out of trouble, keep it together, let's meet soon.
Later that year, he would be involved in a hit-and-run accident in Albuquerque that injured a pregnant woman driving the other car.
I really had no clue what I hit. I didn't know if it was a car or a truck. I didn't know if it was a man or a woman.
So this was the pregnant woman.
My vision
okay,
was so
the other one where he was just drunk driving.
I just knew I needed to run as fast as possible.
According to the Albuquerque.
Wait, so he had two accidents? I never knew that.
Really, I just my vision was so narrowed in, and I just knew I needed to run as fast as possible.
According to the Albuquerque Police Department, Jones crashed his SUV into another car and was accused of leaving the scene of the accident.
Okay, so you had a green light? Were you at
You
a
weren't supposed to
stop
leave the
red
scene,
light,
bro.
or you were going, okay. So did he just turn and hit you?
You weren't supposed to leave the scene, bro. He tripping.
Did you look at the other person in the other car?
No, I had no clue that it was a woman. I had no clue that it was a pregnant woman.
How much time are we talking about? Like from the time
literally from the time that I hit, I was over a fence probably 8 seconds later. It was literally a super reactionary.
Jones turned himself into the police 24 hours later. Ultimately, he didn't serve any jail time, but was sentenced to 18 months probation. As a result, the UFC would strip off his championship title, remove him from the rankings, and suspend him. In March 2016, while Jones was still on probation, he got pulled over by a cop one night in Albuquerque.
Okay, any reason, sir? Any reason for what? For the way you're driving.
The footage of the encounter showed that this police officer was definitely not a fan.
Don't tell me what I know. You're going to testify to what I know?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to testify to what you know.
According to the officer, Jones' car had an illegible license plate. He was unable to maintain a traffic lane and was showing exhibition driving.
Okay.
You are an absolute fucking liar.
Well, we can talk about it in court. I need you to sign inside this box. Once again, you're not admitting guilt. You're letting me know you're aware of the court date.
Ultimately, Jones was ordered to take anger management and driver improvement classes and would finally return to the Octagon in April of that same year against Oven St. Preux.
Man, it feels so great to be back. I missed this game so much. Just feel alive, man. I feel like, you know, my life's getting back in order, and I'm just extremely grateful to be back on this platform.
He capping, man.
Despite the time away from the Octagon, Jones would win every single round to win the interim light heavyweight championship.
I need to kill this Debbie Downer attitude. I just won a fight in the UFC. I got a lot to be grateful for.
Jones would then be scheduled for a rematch with Cormier at UFC 200.
You know, I've got a beautiful life, beautiful family, and opportunities come, opportunities go, but they always represent themselves to people who do the right thing.
In July, however, Jones tested positive for 2 banned illegal substances and was pulled from the event.
Come on. Come on.
I know, bro. Fuck, I'm so sorry.
Come on. Oh, man, it's so hard.
But Jon Jones is like a villain in a game. He like the final boss, like an Elden Ring boss or some shit.
I know, I'm so fucking sorry.
Like, is there anything I can do? Like, I want to release and we can just fight.
Can't do it.
That's a bummer.
Jones said that he was innocent and that the result were wrong due to him having used a sex enhancement pill.
And I've taken sex pills several times throughout my adult life.
I told y'all, bro, he just be doing stuff, bro.
Highly recommend it, guys. Fucking great. Anyways,
Still, he was suspended for 1 year and stripped of his interim title, making him the first champ to be stripped twice. Around then, interviewed by ESPN, White would call Jones the biggest screw-up ever.
It just sucks that he's had so many controversies in his life, but I'm hoping he puts all that shit behind him.
After a 15-month absence from a cage, Jones would get another shot at the title at UFC 214 in July 2017 against Daniel Cormier.
Hey guys, I made it to the event. I'm gonna kick his ass this time.
Good luck to you, sir. The champion, ladies and gentlemen.
In a superb match, both fighters had their moments.
Beautiful trip by Daniel, but he wound up on the bottom.
Ugh.
The first 2 rounds were close, but about halfway through the 3rd round, Jones landed a kick to the head, followed by relentless punches that knocked Cormier unconscious to regain the light heavyweight championship.
Yeah, that's just insane.
It is just insane. Yeah, and he finished him with a kick that DC said he's never gonna hit him with.
Yeah,
that's
Kick to the head.
that's insane. Yeah,
He's like, you're never gonna hit me with that left high kick.
Instead he went there,
Wow. Yeah.
What Jon Jones accomplished tonight is incredible. You know,
Sadly, that highlight reel finish was officially wiped from the record books when Jones later tested positive for steroids.
Because Jon Jones tested positive
Again.
for the ball
from a sample the day before your guys' fight, of course, at UFC 214 in July. This is a death sentence.
Jones would be suspended for an additional 15 months. The win would be overturned to a no contest, and the title change officially erased.
I feel like
Anybody else would have been got kicked out of the UFC, bro. What his name? I forgot. The Diaz brothers, one of the Diaz brothers, bro got suspended for weed, I think. And then Jon Jones did all this stuff, and he's still fighting and shit crazy.
I have taken losses throughout my whole adult life publicly.
You've never looked like a guy who was on steroids.
To be accused of steroids, you go from hero to zero immediately in some people's eyes.
Finally, at the end of 2018, Jones would be allowed back into the Octagon for a rematch against Alexander Gustafsson. Silencing his haters, he didn't miss a beat, outstriking his opponent.
Damn, he hit him right in the back of the head.
TKO in the third round. In early 2019, Jones would also earn a unanimous decision against Anthony Smith, followed by a split decision against Thiago Santos. However, it's been a while since we all last saw him put on a dominant showing inside the Octagon. Save for his 2018 TKO win over Gustafsson to reclaim the belt, Bones' succeeding performances were satisfactory at best. Even his most recent fight at UFC 247 against Dominic Reyes was highly disputed. Although he got the win, a good amount of fans and pundits believe the challenger should have gotten a nod on the scorecards instead.
Dominic Reyes thought he won the fight.
Right.
You know, real close fight.
I feel unsatisfied. You know, like I feel like I've accomplished so much in the sport, but I feel like some of my troubles have made me just unsatisfied.
Right.
You know, I've had an extraordinarily beautiful career inside of the Octagon. Outside of the Octagon, it's been very rocky as of late, and because of the as of late part, I feel like I have more to prove.
All things considered, despite the challenges and controversies that have marked his career, Jon "Bones" Jones has proven time and time again that he is a fighter of unmatched skill and determination. With his incredible talent and unbreakable spirit, he has overcome adversity both in and outside of the Octagon to become a champion in the UFC, and perhaps even an inspiration to many. From his relentless determination to his dominant reign as champion, he has made his mark on the sport and will always be remembered as a true legend of mixed martial arts.
And now I'm trying to focus on who am I as a person outside of that.
In a bid to bring some goodness back into the world, Jones founded a charity known as the CARE Project, a platform for nonprofits and like-minded organizations to work on improving the quality of life of New Mexicans.
See, this CARE Project is so big for me. It's like being an athlete don't mean shit if you're not doing something with it.
Trying to tell y'all, man, this nigga is the Homelander, bro.
Some type of positive way, or friends, family, and what really matters.
I really do truly believe like Jon Jones is a good person though. I just believe that he got a lot of demons inside of him, bro. Like just like Joe Rogan said, you can't be the greatest fighter of all time without demons, bro. Basically, you can't be a normal person knowing how to fight like that. You can't be normal, bro. Like dead ass.
This is the story of Jon Jones, a man who has shown us that even champions bleed, both inside and outside the cage.
Alright, man, that does it for the Jon Jones GOAT controversial reaction video. I'm gonna make this quick and simple because this video was already long. Jon Jones is the real life Homelander. It's just that simple. He'll say something and he'll do it again and again and again and again. And I do believe that he has good intentions, and I do believe that like he really listened to his father, cause his father was a pastor and things like that, and that's where God comes in and things like that. But everybody got demons, bro. Everybody got demons that they deal with, and if God make you the greatest fighter of all time, bro, Lucifer gonna come with some strategies. You know what I'm saying? Lucifer gonna come with some, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just can't be normal. Just fighting, being a good fighter like that. You just can't be normal, bro. It's impossible, bro. Man, I hope y'all boys enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all boys like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out.